Hello everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Today's video is going to be quite a bit different than what we usually cover here on this channel, but this subject has been on my mind for ages, especially over the last couple of years that we've been dealing with this global crisis. So we are talking about our witch wound and how to heal it. So I know automatically many of you are wondering and asking these questions. What are you talking about? What is a witch wound? I'm not a witch, so would I have a witch wound? I'm not a woman, so would I have a witch wound? What does it look like to have a witch wound? Why do we need to address it now, which is what I am suggesting? And most importantly, how do I heal it? So I will be answering all of those questions. So stick around to learn more, especially if you are interested in healing this deep-seated trauma that we all share. Because I will say off the bat that we all have a witch wound. And if we all work toward healing it, then we are actively creating a more loving, tolerant, truly magical new world. I'm Brandy Falcon, owner of Falcon Healing Arts, where I help women and their families heal on every level. And typically we are talking about Chinese medicine, natural wellness advice for common conditions that you might be experiencing. Lately, we've been talking more about the psycho-emotional aspects of health, bringing in energy and shamanic healing as well as human design into the discussion. And it was interesting that as I was preparing the blog post that accompanies this video, I wanted to say in there that I am not a practicing witch. So automatically was feeling a little defensive about this subject, which shows that this is a personal witch wound I need to heal. So again, I will get into the details of what this means, but I will say that I have always been interested in the natural world, bringing in the elements to my healing. This is why I was attracted to Chinese medicine. It was more of the Taoist philosophy that believes that we are a microcosm of nature. So it was this spiritual philosophy that brought me to that system. I do not belong to a particular religion, but I love celebrating the pagan holidays because, again, it makes me feel more aligned with nature. You know that I am now a trained shamanic healer. I've been studying core shamanism, which is Michael Harner's tradition, which brings elements of all cultural traditions of shamanism together. And it is a very approachable way to learn about shamanism. So this is what a lot of psychotherapists learn to share with their clients. But I have been really attracted lately to Celtic shamanism, which looks pretty witchy. And with the energy healing I do as well, I really feel that I am harnessing and projecting this magic, really, that I'm getting from the universe. And so this has been really healing for me, just working through this process, because I am owning now that there is this magic I have and that I could share with others. But let's get back to the witch wound. So what is this? Just like other dark periods in our history, with slavery here in the US, and really it was all over the world, with all of the injustices that we've had to deal with culturally, socially, with war crimes and atrocities that we've seen, genocide. These are all events that have left scars that don't stay in history. It affects the whole region, and it is also passed down through the generations. We all hold these wounds. We are all affected by these experiences. And so when we talk about the witch hunts and the witch trials that primarily occurred through the 14th through the 18th centuries, it's interesting that we don't consider that to be a wound we actively need to heal like slavery. And I'm seeing so many parallels about what happened then and what is happening now that I really feel we need to be talking about this more and making changes to how we are relating to each other. There were many participants of this saga, and here we are the descendants, and this happened over hundreds of years, and it's actually still happening, you may not realize, in some countries in Africa and in the Middle East. So there were the so-called witches who were women and men, so it was about 80% women, but also a significant amount of men who were healers of their families and the communities. And not just that, these were people who were independent thinkers and did not buy in to what was being pushed down their throats from the government and the church. This was a way to silence strong, influential people. Then there were those who were in the crowds, those who watched these witches being burned. And these people internalized what they were witnessing. So who knows what they were thinking, but I imagine that many were not okay with what was happening, but they were afraid to speak up for fear that they would be persecuted. So better that woman or man than myself is what others were thinking. Then there were the persecutors, and I know it's hard to see something from someone else's perspective when what they did seems so absolutely horrible. But if you think about it, this was not the original wound for them. Something had to happen to make them so afraid, so terrified of these witches that they felt the need to over-control them, to push their religion on them, and ultimately to kill them off. So we can have ancestral memories from any of these people. Again, this happened over hundreds of years in many different regions. So how do you know if you have a witch wound from the past that is negatively affecting your life today? Consider you have a witch wound if you feel uncomfortable with magic, with natural healing, anything that is alternative to what is popular and accepted, which right now is Western medicine and the scientific method. If you have healing abilities, but you are very secretive of it for fear of being judged, you have a strong distrust of authority figures, especially powerful men, you're disconnected from your intuition and deeper knowing. You're afraid to go there or even acknowledge that you have that power and wisdom. You're afraid to speak your mind and express your emotions. You're constantly judged for being different. You need to keep your social circles small. You're afraid of showing your authentic self to a larger crowd. You're constantly worried about being punished, attacked, or hurt, and not just on a physical level, but mentally and emotionally. You feel safer with authority figures controlling your life. You're unable to care for your family yourself, and you're always deferring to doctors or people who you think are smarter than you. So there are definitely more signs of having a witch wound, and you can probably say that many of these points you got from the way you were raised, but still, even parenting can go back to this witch wound, or even wounds that are older than that and strengthened by this horrible global experience we had. In short, the burning times, what that period is referred to as, really made us feel disconnected from source and from nature, and it significantly diminished our personal power. And with the current events that we are all dealing with, I feel like this has really highlighted this wound in everyone. So that's something I would really love for you to sit with, is to see the parallels. Here we have authoritarian figures pushing mandates and silencing anyone who has a different idea about how we should deal with this crisis, including natural healing methods. Those who are refusing what is being offered by these authoritarian figures are being punished, they are being shunned, they are being ridiculed. And so those who are feeling this wound, that they want to speak up, they want to stand up for themselves, but it doesn't feel safe. And there are others who are perpetuating this wound and trying to over-control others. None of this is okay. All of this can be healed. We can all have sovereignty and individuality and still recover from this pandemic. And this is why I feel that we need to be talking about this now and actively working to heal it. And I do believe this is the safest time to talk about it and heal it because of the collective desire to have more inclusivity and tolerance. People just need to see that it doesn't have to be this way and that they are perpetuating trauma and creating a deeper wound. Once they see that, I think it will be easier for us all to move through. So just having awareness around this, acknowledging that this witch wound is real, contemplating how it's showing up in your life, this will all help you build up your power and make choices that are stronger. It will help you move out of fear and into a more powerful position where you are feeling fully supported by yourself, by nature, by source. There are 3 other things that I think will really help build up your power. The first is shamanic healing. And again, I do offer this service as part of a program. So 4 sessions in 6 weeks, and it will look different for everyone. Again, depending on how you are feeling this wound, whether it's as a healer, as a mom who is caring and independent, or whether you are on this other side of needing to let go of controlling others and being more secure with yourself. So you do need to be spiritually flexible in order to do this. And that in itself, just opening up to receiving more help from spirit and source, is very healing. You're connecting with your personal support team for protection, for building up power and confidence. And this can help you reclaim your right to view life as being magical in a very safe and healthy way. And the second is just to talk about this with other people. It is really interesting to talk about this history and how there are these parallels in themes happening today. Notice if you have fear bringing this subject up. Notice who wants to argue with you as you are talking about this. Can you all agree to disagree? It should feel safe for everyone to be able to speak their mind without being judged and ridiculed. So just having these discussions is truly healing. And then finally, the third, this is a huge one for so many people because there were more people in the crowd during the burning times. You need to speak up for others. Call it out when you are seeing people being judged harshly, being segregated, being oppressed. There is never any justification for that. Right now we're hearing that if we don't do as the government says, that our way of taking care of our bodies is harming other people. And that is absolutely not true. They are using the same exact tactics of creating a problem where there is none. So speak up now to heal this wound that you are carrying from these ancestors or from even past lives. So thank you so much for listening so openly here. I would love to hear your thoughts. Put any questions you have in the comments below. I welcome healthy discussion. And you don't need to agree with me. I have been a natural healer for some time. I've been in the medical freedom movement for over 5 years, and all of these positions, it really does feel like every day I am sticking my neck out. It shouldn't need to feel this way, but I know that what I am doing is helping heal this wound, and it's helping inspire other people, especially other women who may have a really hard time with this. So I hope this is inspiring too. Please share this with your friends, and you can check out these other wellness videos that will support you in your holistic health journey, bringing balance to your body, heart, mind, and spirit. Take care, friends.